Before any business can even think about conquering the world, it first has to do something much, much harder. It has to truly understand itself. This whole process, strategic internal analysis, is kind of like looking in a mirror. It's all about getting a clear, honest look at what you are, who you answer to, and where your real power lies. So let's pull back the curtain and see how the smartest companies do exactly that.
It seems like such a simple question, right? But the answer is incredibly complex. A company can have an amazing product, the most talented people, a mission statement that sounds great, but if it doesn't fundamentally understand its own internal landscape, well, it's just flying blind.
And that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to break down the tools that strategists use to take that hard look inward. And to make it all real, we'll use a fictional streaming service. Let's call it Streamly, to see how all these concepts play out in the wild.
So, where do you start this journey of self-discovery? Well, you might think it's with products or maybe profits, but actually the first step is to look at people. Before a business can figure out what it is, it has to understand who it's accountable to. These are its stakeholders.
So, what even is a stakeholder? Simply put, it's anyone, any person, any group that has a vested interest in how the company does. And this isn't just the owners or the shareholders. It's a whole ecosystem of people, all with their own needs and demands that are constantly shaping the company's direction.
And right here, you can see the tension that's built into the heart of pretty much any business. For our company's Streamline, the shareholders are demanding innovation and a great return on their investment. But the viewers, they want more and more new content, and they want it for less money. Meanwhile, the production houses need stable orders, and the employees want stable jobs with good pay. See, everyone is pulling in a slightly different direction.
Which, of course, leads to the absolute million-dollar question for any strategist. When you've got all these different voices, all demanding different things, how do you decide who to listen to first? Because let's be honest, you can't please everyone all the time. So how do you choose? Well, you use a map. This is Mendelow's matrix, and it is a genuinely brilliant tool for cutting through all that noise. It helps you organize every single stakeholder based on two really simple but totally crucial factors: how much power they have to influence the company and how much interest they have in its success. And this is how it all turns into an actual strategy. The folks with high power and high interest, like Streamly's major investors, those are your key players. You have to manage that relationship very, very closely. But what about the viewers? They have super high interest, but individually low power. They fall into keep informed. You engage with them, you get their feedback. Suddenly, this messy cloud of competing demands becomes a clear, actionable plan. Okay, so once you've figured out the who, it's time to dig into the what. This is all about finding your strategic drivers, those core things that define your position in the market and, maybe more importantly, show you who you're really competing against. This thing right here is called a strategic route map. Now, I know it looks a bit abstract, but it's an incredibly powerful way to actually see the competitive landscape. You just pick two key variables that matter in your industry, say for streaming, price and the size of the content library, and then you plot your company and all your rivals on the chart. So what this is really saying is that the map helps you see who you're truly in a dogfight with. For Streamly, mapping themselves against their competitors based on subscription price and content library size would instantly show who their direct rivals are and maybe, just maybe, where there's some open space in the market for them to grow. Okay, so after you've mapped out that big picture market, you've got to bring the focus way, way down. It's time to zoom in from that global landscape right into the living rooms of the people who are actually paying the bills. And here's a really critical insight you have to get. Not all customers are created equal. This chart breaks down Streamly's audience. You can see there's a small but highly profitable group of high-value subscribers. Maybe they're the ones on the premium family plans. And then there's a much larger base of lower-value subscribers. Knowing this is absolutely key to figuring out where to aim your marketing dollars for the biggest bang for your buck. And now for a distinction that trips up a ton of people: the difference between a customer and a consumer. It's simple, but so important. The customer is the one who buys the product. The consumer is the one who uses it. For Streamly, maybe a parent is the customer who pays the monthly subscription, but their kids are the consumers who are actually watching the shows. You have to appeal to both, the price-conscious buyer and the usability-focused user. So you've mapped your stakeholders, you've analyzed your spot in the market, and you truly get your customers. Now what? Well, now you use all that amazing intelligence to choose how you're going to connect with them.
Let's pop open the marketing toolkit, shall we? First up, we've got relationship marketing. This is all about building loyalty and playing the long game. For Streamly, this could be something like offering its long-term subscribers early access to a huge new show, making them feel special, like insiders. But sometimes you need a reaction right now. And that's where direct marketing comes in. Just think about those super personalized, here's what you should watch next emails that Streamly sends out. They're designed for one thing, to get you to click and start watching immediately.
Then we have an approach that's often misunderstood, social marketing. And no, this is not about social media. It's about marketing a social idea or a cause. Streamly could do this by creating a special collection of environmental documentaries around Earth Day to help promote conservation awareness. That's social marketing.
And finally, for a company like Streamly, this might be the most critical approach of all: services marketing. Think about it. Their product is intangible. You're not just selling access to TV shows, you're selling the whole experience. The quality of the recommendation algorithm, how easy it is to use, that's the real service. Whew, okay, we have covered a lot of ground, from mapping stakeholders all the way to choosing the right marketing play. The goal here has been to equip you with a new way of looking at any business, a new strategic lens. So let's just recap that path to self-knowledge. Nice and simple. First, you map your stakeholders so you know who you really need to listen to. Second, you analyze your strategic drivers to understand where you fit in the market. And third, you use all that great analysis to pick the right strategy to win. And you know what the best part is? These frameworks aren't just for stuffy corporate boardrooms. They're powerful lenses that you can use to understand the dynamics of any company you deal with every day, from your local coffee shop all the way up to the biggest tech giants in the world. So I'll leave you with a question to chew on. The next time you use a product or a service you absolutely love, try putting on this strategic lens. Ask yourself, who are the real key players here? Is it the shareholders, the customers, the employees? Who truly holds the power? I have a feeling the answer might just surprise you.